Welcome back to Gemstone Kingdom. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share to support the channel. It really gives me the motivation to bring you even more fascinating stories from the world of gemstones. In the world of gemstones, there exists a strange current where nature seems to play with metaphors. Stones that do not simply sparkle, but remind us of the sweetest fruits humanity has cherished since its earliest days. From the crimson seeds of a pomegranate, to the golden glow of an orange, to the soft blush of a peach, these gems blur the line between geology and harvest. One begins to wonder, are we looking at a mineral shaped over millions of years, or a slice of fruit freshly cut from a summer basket? In this journey, we will uncover 10 gemstones that mirror the world of fruit, each one carrying with it a story of geography, of belief, of survival, of faith. But hidden within this list, at the very top, lies a gemstone unlike any other. It looks exactly like a slice of watermelon, with a pink heart, a green rind, and even a faint white edge. A fruit turned to stone, whose value is measured not only in currency, but in desire, secrecy, and legend. Some whisper that a single slice of this stone has been traded for the price of land itself. Rank number 10, Orange Fire. Opal, the gemstone that glows like a mandarin. In the world of gemstones, there exists a strange current where nature seems to play with metaphors. Stones that do not simply sparkle, but remind us of the sweetest fruits humanity has cherished since its earliest days. From the crimson seeds of a pomegranate, to the golden glow of an orange, to the soft blush of a peach, these gems blur the line between geology and harvest. One begins to wonder, are we looking at a mineral shaped over millions of years, or a slice of fruit freshly cut from a summer basket? In this journey, we will uncover 10 gemstones that mirror the world of fruit, each one carrying with it a story of geography, of belief, of survival, of faith. But hidden within this list, at the very top, lies a gemstone unlike any other. It looks exactly like a slice of watermelon, with a pink heart, a green rind, and even a faint white edge. A fruit turned to stone, whose value is measured not only in currency, but in desire, secrecy, and legend. Some whisper that a single slice of this stone has been traded for the price of land itself. In the volcanic highlands of central Mexico, there lies a stone that seems to carry the warmth of the sun inside its heart. Locals call it Opalo de Fuego, the fire opal. But to anyone who has held it against the light, it is more than fire. It is a fruit made of stone, glowing with the exact color of a ripe mandarin. The geography of this gem's birthplace tells part of its story. In Querétaro, a region shaped by ancient lava flows, basaltic rock hides delicate treasures in its cavities. Within these volcanic pockets, over millions of years, silica-rich waters cooled and hardened. What emerged was opal, but not the common milky opal seen in other lands. These were transparent to translucent stones, their bodies infused with orange, red, or golden hues, like droplets of liquid sunlight frozen in stone. The finest among them reveal a color that stops the eye, vivid orange with just enough translucence to glow from within. Jewelers describe it as jelly-like. Archaeologists describe it more simply. It looks like fruit. Hold an uncut Mexican fire opal beside a peeled mandarin segment, and the resemblance is unmistakable. The same juicy brightness, the same inner glow. Even when cut and polished into cabochons or facets, the illusion remains. Strings of fire opals resemble a necklace of mandarins suspended in midair, each stone a glowing slice of sweetness. The Aztecs and Maya recognized this uncanny power long before Europeans arrived. To them, fire opal was not merely beautiful, it was sacred. Known as Quetzalitzali, the stone was dedicated to the sun god. Priests carried it into rituals of fertility and renewal, its orange glow representing both flame and fruit, nourishment and power. In archaeological sites across central Mexico, fragments of fire opal have been uncovered in ceremonial caches, evidence of its role in offerings, meant to keep the balance between humanity and the heavens. For those ancient cultures, the resemblance to fruit was not accidental. In a land where volcanic soil produced orchards and fields, The Mandarin-like stone symbolized survival. Just as fruit fed the body, fire opal was believed to feed the spirit. Placing it in a temple or wearing it as a talisman was seen as drawing life force directly from the volcanoes themselves, nature's orchard beneath the ground. Modern mining in Querétaro continues this legacy. Miners cut into old volcanic ridges, extracting nodules of basalt that may or may not contain the glowing treasure. When they strike one, the dull gray rock splits to reveal a flash of orange, as if a fruit had ripened in secret inside stone. Lapidaries polish them into ovals, teardrops, and faceted gems. Under lamplight, they blaze with the same intensity as they did under the Mexican sun centuries ago. The gem trade prizes fire opals for their uniqueness. While Ethiopia and Honduras yield opals, none match the saturated orange of Mexico's stones. Collectors speak of them as mandarins of the gem world. Gems that not only sparkle but radiate, their glow alive like juice pressed from citrus. Unlike diamonds, which depend on brilliance, or emeralds, which rely on depth of green, fire opals depend on warmth. Their entire appeal lies in the way they mimic nature's most comforting shade, the color of fruit at its sweetest peak. To archaeologists, these stones represent something larger. They are artifacts of human imagination. Across time, people have looked into fire opal and seen more than geology. They saw food, sunlight, warmth, renewal. They saw life. And that is why fire opal, though not as globally famous as diamond or ruby, earns its place here, because it embodies peace, fertility, and survival in one luminous body. Ranked 10th, the orange fire opal is more than a gemstone. It is the mandarin of the mineral world, grown not on branches but in basil. Rank number 9, strawberry quartz. The gemstone that mirrors a ripe strawberry, in the layered veins of quartz-bearing rock, scattered across Mexico, Russia, and Brazil, a rare variant emerges that seems less like a mineral and more like something preserved from a summer harvest. This is strawberry quartz, a gemstone whose body captures the soft red glow and delicate seeds of a ripe strawberry. Among all quartz varieties, few create the same illusion of fruit crystallized in stone. At its core, strawberry quartz is built of silicon dioxide, just like ordinary quartz. What sets it apart are the inclusions, microscopic flecks of iron oxide or hematite trapped inside the crystal during its growth. These inclusions scatter through the quartz in clouds, streaks, or shimmering particles. The effect is unmistakable. The pink to red body color of the stone, shot through with specks, resembles strawberry flesh. Juicy, translucent, dotted with seeds. Hold a polished cabochon up to the light, and it appears like a slice of strawberry held against the sun. The geography of strawberry quartz adds to its mystique. Deposits have been recorded in Mexico's volcanic belts, in the granitic rocks of Kazakhstan, and in select mines in Brazil and the United States. Each location produces slight variations, some stones paler, others deep crimson, but all echo the same fruit-like impression. Archaeologists and mineralogists studying early trade routes have noted that quartz with reddish inclusions was often singled out for ornament and ritual use, long before gemology gave it a name. To ancient eyes, it was a fruit stone, a mineral echo of harvest and fertility. Culturally, strawberry quartz carries meanings that align with its appearance. In European traditions, the strawberries symbolize love, abundance, and renewal. In Japan, strawberries were considered a gift of early summer, linked to fertility and the sweetness of life. The gemstone reflects those associations almost too perfectly. In modern metaphysical lore, it is still called the stone of love and joy. However, to an archaeologist, what matters is that society saw in its appearance something nourishing, something tied to life's continuance. The shape of strawberry quartz as a gem enhances its resemblance. When cut into round beads, it looks like clusters of candied fruit. As cabochon, its pink-red translucence recalls sliced berries. Even in raw crystal form, with its natural terminations, the reddish inclusions pool at the base like the seeds clinging to a strawberry surface. It is geology imitating food, nature shaping crystal as if it were preserving a fruit for eternity. Excavations in sites across Eurasia reveal that quartz with reddish inclusions was used in pendants and talismans as early as the Bronze Age. These were not chosen randomly. To carry a stone that looked like fruit was to have a token of fertility, health, and prosperity. Some archaeologists suggest that these stones were gifted between groups after seasonal disputes over land or crops, functioning as symbols of reconciliation, a fruit of peace, crystallized in mineral form. Modern mining continues to reveal strawberry quartz in limited quantities. Unlike common rose quartz, it is far rarer and more localized. Each polished gem is unique, its internal seeds scattered in patterns no lapidary can predict. Collectors prize this individuality. Jewelers sometimes describe it as nature's strawberry candy, a gem that satisfies the eye the way fruit satisfies hunger. To a geologist, the explanation lies in inclusions and crystal growth. To a cultural historian, the significance lies in perception. Across time, people have looked at strawberry quartz and seen nourishment, affection, and vitality. Its resemblance to a ripe strawberry made it more than a gemstone. It became a mirror of life's simplest pleasures, crystallized in quartz. That is why strawberry quartz earns its place here, as ranked number 9. It is not the rarest gem, nor the most expensive, but it holds a unique power to remind us that even in stone, the image of food, the promise of sustenance and sweetness, can be preserved. It mirrors a ripe strawberry so convincingly that it blurs the line between geology and harvest, between mineral and fruit. And in that blur lies its enduring charm, a gemstone that allows us to hold summer in our hands, forever sealed in quartz. Rank number 8, Mandarin Spessartite Garnet, the tangerine gem with fiery glow. In the arid landscapes of Namibia, where the soil burns red under the sun, miners strike open veins of rock to reveal something astonishing. Flashes of orange so bright they seem alive. This is Mandarin Spessartite Garnet, a gemstone that looks less like a mineral and more like the peel of a ripe tangerine, glowing with fire from within. Spessartite itself is a member of the garnet family, composed of manganese aluminium silicate. Its name comes from Spessart, a forested region in Germany where the stone was first described. But the authentic gem-quality crystals, the ones with fiery orange hues, are found in Africa, especially Namibia and Nigeria. The Namibian deposits discovered in the 1990s shocked the gem world. Their stones displayed a neon-like brilliance, an orange so vivid that it rivaled the flame of a torch. Jewelers quickly coined the term Mandarin garnet because the gems resembled the glowing skin of tangerines freshly picked in the sun. The color range of Mandarin Spessartite runs from pure orange to reddish orange, often compared to citrus fruit at peak ripeness. When cut into faceted gems, their refractive index and dispersion unleash a fiery sparkle. This is no dull stone. Every movement sends flashes of light that look like embers swirling beneath the surface. In the hand, it is as though one holds a miniature flame shaped like a fruit. Archaeologically, garnets have been prized for millennia. Excavations in Egyptian tombs and Roman sites reveal garnet beads worn as amulets of protection. Warriors carried them as talismans against injury, believing the stone's deep colors linked it to life force and vitality. But Mandarin Spessartite, with its citrus-like brilliance, adds another chapter to this legacy. To cultures encountering it for the first time, it represented not just protection, but joy, energy, and renewal. The warmth of the sun captured in stone. When compared directly to a tangerine, the resemblance is uncanny. The outer rind of the fruit glows with the same balance of orange and red. The faceted surface of a polished spessartite mirrors the dimples of citrus skin, scattering light in tiny bursts. Just as a tangerine seems to hold sunlight in its pulp, so too does this garnet hold sunlight in its crystal lattice. To see it is to be reminded of harvest, sweetness, and warmth, but in a form that will never decay. The gem's fiery glow is not only aesthetic, but symbolic. In metaphysical traditions, Mandarin Spessartite is associated with creativity, confidence, and passion. Collectors and jewelers alike speak of it as a stone of vitality. For communities near its mines, it has become a symbol of prosperity, a natural fruit of the land that nourishes not the body but the spirit and economy alike. Mining in Namibia remains challenging. The deposits are small, the crystals fragile, and fine specimens rare. Each time a stone is extracted intact, it feels like pulling a glowing fruit from volcanic soil. A harvest that nature prepared for millions of years. Gem cutters treat each crystal with reverence, orienting facets to maximize the fiery dispersion, turning rough nodules into blazing tangerine gems that rival any ruby or diamond in brilliance. From a national perspective, Mandarin garnet put Namibia on the map of modern gemology. Its discovery redefined what garnet could be. No longer a modest red stone, but a fire-bright jewel sought after by collectors worldwide. Its trade supported local economies, while its image as a citrus gem captured the imagination of jewelers across continents. To archaeologists and historians, the gem is more than commerce. It is a cultural artifact of perception. Humanity has always sought to connect stones with life. Just as garnet once symbolized blood and protection, Mandarin Spessartite became fruit, harvest, and flame. A gemstone that mirrors not conflict but abundance. Its fiery glow assures us that nature can imitate the sweetest images of survival: food, sun, and joy. That is why Mandarin Spessartite garnet stands here at rank number 8. It is not just a gemstone. It is the tangerine of the mineral world, glowing with warmth, scattering fire with every turn, reminding us that even within stone, the image of fruit and flame can be preserved forever. Rank number 7, Cherry Spinel, the gemstone that shines like ripe cherries. In the storied valley of Mogok in Myanmar, miners have long uncovered gemstones so bright that they were once mistaken for rubies. Yet these stones are not ruby at all. They are Spinel. And among them, one variety glows with a color so vivid, so inviting, that it mirrors a bowl of ripe cherries glistening in the summer sun. This is Cherry Spinel, the gemstone that shines like ripe cherries. Geologically, Spinel is an oxide mineral composed of magnesium and aluminium. Its crystal lattice allows trace elements, such as chromium and iron, to infuse it with brilliant shades of red and pink. The result is a gem that often rivals ruby in intensity, but with a softer transparency and sparkle of its own. When cut and polished, Cherry Spinel flashes with a clarity that sets it apart. Instead of the deep wine red of some rubies, it glows with a cheerful, fruit-like brightness. To hold a fine Cherry Spinel is to think instantly of fruit. Its surface glistens like the skin of cherries just rinsed under water. Its body color, somewhere between crimson and magenta, carries the juiciness of ripe harvest. Even the round-faceted cuts reinforce the illusion. Clusters of spinel gems resemble a handful of cherries, gleaming under sunlight. Archaeologists often note how human culture has always connected gems to food and vitality, and in the case of Spinel, the resemblance is as visual as it is symbolic. Historically, Spinel was one of the most important gemstones of medieval courts, yet for centuries it was mistaken for ruby. Crown jewels in Europe, from England to Russia, include massive red spinels cut and mounted as though they were rubies. The famous Black Prince's ruby in the imperial state crown of Britain is, in fact, a spinel. To rulers, the stone's fiery red, cherry bright even in candlelight, was enough to signify power and legitimacy. In a sense, stone-crowned emperors were likened to cherries, sealing their image of abundance and authority. In Asia, Spinel held a different resonance. In the Mogok mines of Burma, red spinels were valued not only as gems but as diplomatic gifts. Records describe them traded between kingdoms, their brightness likened to drops of blood or fruit offered to the gods. The cherry-like glow was not lost on these cultures. To them, the stone embodied life force, sweetness, and the promise of continuity. Just as cherries ripen each summer, Spinel was seen as a cyclical gem, a stone of renewal. Archaeological finds of Spinel beads in ancient trade routes confirm their wide circulation. From Sri Lanka to Persia, Spinel traveled along the Silk Road, often carried in caravans with spices and dried fruits. Traders prized the way its color held under any light, in the desert sun or by fire at night. When set into jewelry, it brought the vibrancy of fruit into crowns, rings, and amulets, preserving the image of abundance in mineral form. Modern gemology restored Spinel's true identity, separating it from ruby by its crystal structure. Yet this revelation has only increased its allure. Collectors now prize cherry spinel as a gem in its own right. Rarer in fine quality than ruby, often cleaner and equally mesmerizing. In contemporary jewelry, strands of cherry spinel beads are marketed as fruit necklaces, proof that the association remains alive. The symbolism of cherry spinel continues much as it always has. It is considered a stone of joy, love, and vitality. The qualities cherries themselves evoke at the table. To gift a cherry spinel is to gift brightness, to offer the gem equivalent of summer fruit. For nations like Myanmar and Sri Lanka, which produce the finest examples, it remains part of cultural heritage, an export that links geology with global appreciation. Ranked 7th in our list, cherry spinel holds a special charm. It may not be as globally famous as ruby or sapphire, but its glow is unmistakable. It shines with the same allure that draws us to ripe cherries: freshness, sweetness, and the promise of life renewed. It is a gemstone that does not simply sparkle, it ripens like fruit caught forever in its moment of perfection. Rank number 6, Blueberry Quartz, the gemstone that echoes wild blueberries. Deep in the quarries of Brazil and Madagascar, miners strike into quartz veins and discover something curious. Inside the clear body of the crystal are patches, streaks, and dots of deep blue, tiny rounded marks that look less like geology and more like fruit preserved in stone. This is blueberry quartz, a gem that echoes the wild blueberries of summer fields, captured forever in mineral form. Blueberry quartz is not a separate species of mineral, but a variety of quartz infused with dumortierite or other blue inclusions. These inclusions scatter through the crystal like pigment, sometimes clustering into rounded spots, sometimes streaking like juice across ice. The effect is unmistakable. The stone resembles yogurt stirred with blueberries, or dough sprinkled with berries waiting to be baked. Archaeologists examining polished beads describe them as fossil berries, frozen in time, uneaten but eternal. The resemblance to wild blueberries is especially striking in cabochon cuts. When shaped into domes or spheres, the gems display their blue inclusions as if they were seeds or fruit embedded within translucent flesh. A string of blueberry quartz beads resembles a necklace of berries picked fresh from the forest, each one glowing softly with the sheen of polished quartz. The illusion is so convincing that to many, it feels less like a jewel and more like a harvest crystallized in stone. The geography of its sources ties back to ancient traditions. Brazil, long known for its quartz deposits, has produced blueberry quartz for centuries. Madagascar yields stones with deeper, darker inclusions, almost purple, reminiscent of overripe fruit. In Russia, smaller deposits appear in metamorphic rock, adding another chapter to the story of this fruit-like gem. Archaeological finds of quartz with colored inclusions in Eurasian burial sites suggest that such stones were collected and treasured thousands of years ago, possibly for their resemblance to food, a symbolic assurance of sustenance in the afterlife. Culturally, blueberry quartz has been associated with calm, nourishment, and clarity. Just as blueberries provided early hunter-gatherers with energy in lean seasons, the gemstone is imagined as a sustainer of the spirit. Healers in modern crystal traditions claim it steadies the mind, promotes focus, and nurtures inner peace. Whether or not one believes such claims, the symbolism is compelling. A berry of the earth, carried not in the hand but in the pocket. Not perishable but permanent. The color itself amplifies this effect. Blue has long been linked with tranquility and trust. In blueberry quartz, the color comes not in a uniform wash but in scattered patches, like wild fruit growing unpredictably in the forest. Each stone is unique, each arrangement of inclusions impossible to replicate. This individuality gives every piece the character of a wild harvest rather than cultivated produce, untamed, natural, and deeply human in its appeal. To archaeologists, such stones represent a bridge between necessity and imagination. Early people survived by foraging for wild berries, depending on the seasonal availability of wild berries. To find a stone that resembled those life-giving fruits would have carried enormous symbolic weight. Perhaps it was seen as a charm for survival, a guarantee that nourishment would return. In burial contexts, it may have symbolized eternal provision, ensuring that even in death, one would not go hungry. Today, blueberry quartz is not as rare as emerald or ruby, but its popularity lies in its charm. Jewelers craft it into beads, pendants, and talismans that speak not of luxury but of comfort. The comfort of food, of fruit, of memory. To wear blueberry quartz is to carry a reminder of nature's small gifts, transformed into a crystal that will never spoil. That is why blueberry quartz stands here at rank number 6. It is not only a gemstone, but a mirror of something simpler, the joy of gathering fruit in the wild, the sweetness of summer, the nourishment of life. It echoes wild blueberries, yet transcends them, turning a fleeting harvest into a permanent jewel. In it, geology and memory meet, and the earth itself preserves the taste of survival. Rank number 5, Peach Moonstone, the gemstone that glows like a summer peach. High in the gem-rich lands of Sri Lanka and the river gravels of India, miners have long lifted from the earth a stone that seems to carry the light of the moon in its body. It is called Moonstone, and among its many varieties one shines with a hue unlike any other. Peach Moonstone, the gemstone that glows like a summer peach. Unlike diamonds or rubies, Moonstone is not celebrated for fire or brilliance. Its power lies in a softer phenomenon, a dulurescence, a ghostly light that drifts across its surface when moved under illumination. Peach Moonstone carries this shimmer against a background of delicate pink-orange, a color that instantly recalls the blush of ripe peaches under summer sun. Turn it in the hand, and a silver sheen floats inside like mist, as though light itself were rolling gently across fruit skin. Geologically, Moonstone is a variety of feldspar, specifically orthoclase and albite layered together. As light enters the stone, it scatters between these layers, creating the famed moonlit glow. In Peach Moonstone, tiny trace elements deepen the body color to shades of coral, salmon, and soft apricot. The result is a gemstone that feels simultaneously earthly and otherworldly. Fruit made luminous, summer crystallized in mineral. To the eye, Peach Moonstone often resembles slices of peach flesh held against a twilight sky. Cabochons cut in oval or round forms emphasize this resemblance, looking like droplets of nectar suspended in stone. Archaeologists studying ancient trade routes note that feldspar gems of this kind were carried from Sri Lanka into Mesopotamia and the Mediterranean, where they were prized not for their hardness, but for their strange internal light. That glow was seen as a sign of divine favor, a moonlit blessing captured in mineral form. Culturally, Moonstone has always been bound to love, fertility, and intuition. In India, it was regarded as a sacred stone, believed to bring harmony between partners. Roman and Greek traditions linked it directly to lunar deities, treating it as crystallized moonlight. The peach-colored variety amplifies these associations with warmth. Where blue moonstone feels calm and ethereal, peach moonstone feels tender, nourishing, the gemstone equivalent of a peach picked at its sweetest moment. The symbolism of fruit and stone overlaps naturally here. Just as peaches ripen in the warmth of summer, bringing sweetness and refreshment, peach moonstone symbolizes emotional ripening, compassion, gentleness, the flowering of love after hardship. In modern traditions, it is often gifted as a token of calm and reassurance, said to soothe anxieties much like fruit satisfies hunger. For archaeologists, the continuity is striking. Across centuries, communities looked at this gem and saw not just a mineral, but a metaphor, sustenance for the heart. Mining peach moonstone is an exercise in delicacy. The crystals are cleavable and fragile under heavy blows. Each piece must be extracted with care, like harvesting fruit without bruising it. Lapidaries then polish them into smooth domes that let the light roll across their surface. When displayed in strands or bracelets, they glow softly, resembling bowls of peaches basking under candlelight. No two stones shimmer the same way. Like fruit, each has its own character, its own ripeness. To nations like Sri Lanka, peach moonstone remains part of cultural heritage. Mines in Mediagoda and other districts continue to supply the world with stones that enter not only jewelry markets, but ritual spaces. For local communities, Moonstone is more than an export. It is an emblem of the land's gifts, a natural product of geology as nourishing as harvests above ground. Ranked fifth in our list, Peach Moonstone is a reminder that gems need not dazzle like fire to be powerful. Some, like this one, whisper instead of shout. They glow softly like fruit skin under summer sun, carrying with them the warmth of the season and the mystery of the moon. It is a gemstone that blurs the line between orchard and cosmos, between earth's fruit and heaven's light, a summer peach glowing eternally in stone. Rank number 4, Citrine, the golden citrus gemstone. In the rolling hills of Brazil's Minas Gerais, miners unearth crystals that glow with a light as warm as the sun at harvest time. These are citrines, quartz crystals infused with golden fire, shimmering in shades of lemon, honey, and orange. Among fruit-like gemstones, few capture the brightness of citrus as perfectly as this one. Citrine is the golden citrus gemstone, a mineral that seems to crystallize the very juice of oranges and lemons into enduring stone. Geologically, citrine is a variety of quartz colored by trace amounts of iron. Its hues range from pale yellow, like the rind of a lemon, to deep amber, like the flesh of ripe oranges. When cut and polished, citrine radiates with cheerful warmth, its facets scattering light as if droplets of sunlit juice had been frozen in crystal. To hold one is to see a slice of citrus fruit transformed into a gemstone, refreshing, energizing, and radiant. The resemblance to fruit is not just visual. In clusters of faceted gems, citrine looks like bowls of candied oranges. Beads strung together resemble strings of golden mandarins. Even rough crystals, with their honeyed transparency, call to mind crystallized slices of lemon candy. Archaeologists often comment on this overlap between mineral and food. Citrine, they say, is geology's answer to the orchard, a citrus harvest grown underground. Historically, citrine has been treasured for both beauty and symbolism. In ancient Greece, it was carved into talismans believed to protect the wearer against evil thoughts. Roman priests used it in intaglio seals, its golden glow evoking the power of the sun. In medieval Europe, citrine earned the name merchant's stone. Traders carried it as a charm, convinced it would bring prosperity and success, just as citrus fruit symbolized abundance and good health in the winter months. To own citrine was to hold a piece of eternal harvest, a fruit that would never rot, a sun that would never fade. Citrine's story is tied closely to human trade. Along the Silk Road, quartz crystals in golden hues traveled as amulets and offerings. Archaeologists have unearthed citrine beads in burial sites across Eurasia, where they may have symbolized wealth and continuity in the afterlife. For societies that relied on citrus harvests as both food and medicine, a gem that mirrored fruit carried immense symbolic power. It was nourishment made permanent. Modern gemology has only deepened citrine's reputation. Brazil, especially Rio Grande do Sul, remains the leading source, producing gems in vivid orange yellow that rival the glow of ripe oranges under summer light. In Madagascar and Zambia, citrine appears with slightly different tones, like variations in citrus fruit from region to region. Jewelers cut them into radiant facets, creating rings and pendants that sparkle with the brightness of sunlight. The association with fruit has never disappeared. Even today, marketing often refers to citrine as citrus quartz, reinforcing its resemblance to the orchard's bounty. Symbolically, citrine is considered a stone of joy, vitality, and prosperity. In modern metaphysical traditions, it is said to energize the spirit much as citrus refreshes the body. To archaeologists, what matters is continuity. Across centuries, citrine has been seen as a stone of abundance. Its golden color echoes the orchard in the marketplace alike, linking geology with human survival and desire. The beauty of citrine lies not only in brilliance, but in familiarity. Unlike the distant aura of diamonds or the regal mystery of sapphires, citrine feels approachable. It glows with the warmth of fruit we know and trust. Lemons, oranges, mandarins. It carries the reminder that the earth provides sustenance in many forms. Some we eat and some we wear. That is why citrine claims rank number 4. It is the citrus gemstone, the golden harvest of the mineral world. A stone that mirrors fruit, radiates like sunlight, and carries with it centuries of belief in joy, wealth, and renewal. In citrine, the orchard becomes eternal, glowing forever in crystal form. Rank number 3, garnet pomegranate, the ancient gemstone of crimson seeds. Beneath the soils of India, Sri Lanka, and Africa, miners uncover crystals that gleam like drops of wine preserved in stone. These are garnets, one of humanity's oldest known gemstones. But their story begins not only in mines, but in orchards. The name garnet comes from the Latin granatum, meaning pomegranate seed. And indeed, no gem mirrors fruit so perfectly as garnet mirrors the crimson seeds of a ripe pomegranate. Geologically, garnet refers to a group of silicate minerals, most commonly almandine and pyrope, when it comes to deep red varieties. These stones form under heat and pressure, crystallizing into dodecahedral shapes that often emerge polished enough to sparkle even before cutting. Their color ranges from wine red to fiery crimson, but the finest examples look exactly like pomegranate arils, translucent, juicy, and glowing with an inner light. Hold a garnet between your fingers, and you might imagine crushing it to release a burst of sweetness. Though, of course, what spills from the garnet is not juice but light. The resemblance to fruit is more than a coincidence. It is the heart of garnet's identity. Ancient writers in Rome and Greece compared the stones directly to pomegranate seeds, and the word granatus was used to describe both. Archaeological digs confirm the association. Strings of garnet beads have been found in burials across Europe and Asia, often arranged like necklaces of fruit, carried into the afterlife as nourishment and protection. Culturally, the symbolism of garnet has always been entwined with blood, life, and renewal. In Egyptian tombs, garnets were placed to guide souls into eternity. Roman soldiers carried garnet intaglios as amulets of protection, believing their red glow connected to the life force. In Greek mythology, the pomegranate itself was central to the story of Persephone, whose seeds bound her to the underworld, yet also guaranteed the return of spring. Garnet, echoing those crimson seeds, became a gemstone of cycles, death and rebirth, departure and return. To medieval Europeans, garnets were carbuncles, glowing coals believed to ward off poison and plague. Crusaders wore them into battle, convinced they shielded against injury. In Asia, garnet beads were exchanged between traders as pledges of friendship, their fruit-like appearance symbolizing abundance and trust. Everywhere, garnet was valued not just as a gem, but as a fruit of stone, edible in symbolism, nourishing to the spirit. Archaeological evidence reveals how universal this association was. In burial mounds of the Huns, garnet inlays decorated weapons and jewelry, their glow likened to seeds of power. In Anglo-Saxon hoards such as the Sutton Hoo treasure, garnet cloisonné work blazed across sword hilts and brooches, resembling clusters of pomegranate seeds carefully set into gold. The fruit image was constant, bridging cultures far apart yet united in the recognition of garnet as life crystallized. Modern gemology continues this legacy. Today, garnet remains affordable compared to ruby or emerald, yet its symbolism makes it enduringly popular. Jewelers craft strands of garnet beads that look like necklaces of fruit, glowing with crimson light under candles or sunlight. Each bead is a seed of the earth, eternal and unspoiled. Collectors still remark on its connection to nourishment, to survival, to cycles of time. For nations that produce garnet, the stone carries both economic and cultural meaning. In India, garnet mining has a history stretching back thousands of years, its exports feeding trade routes across Asia and Europe. In Sri Lanka, known for gem rivers, garnets mingle with sapphires and moonstones, part of the island's legendary mineral wealth. In Africa, vast deposits ensure garnet remains widely available, a reminder that this fruit stone is among the Earth's most generous gifts. Ranked third in our list, garnet pomegranate is more than a gemstone. It is an ancient mirror of fruit, of crimson seeds, of the cycles that define human life. It shines with the promise of renewal, of return, of survival across generations. Just as a pomegranate offers nourishment in each jewel-like seed, garnet provides the illusion of eternal sustenance, a harvest of crimson light gathered from the very heart of the earth. Rank number 2, Peridot olive, the green gemstone of ancient olives. Across the waters of the Red Sea lies Zabargad, a small island of barren rock where, for thousands of years, miners searched by torchlight for a gem that glowed green even in the dark. The Egyptians called it the gem of the sun. Today we know it as peridot, and in its golden green glow, we see the unmistakable image of ancient olives. It is peridot olive, the green gemstone of ancient olives. Geologically, peridot is the gem variety of olivine, a silicate mineral formed deep in the Earth's mantle and brought to the surface by volcanic activity. Its chemistry infuses the crystals with iron, giving rise to a unique green color that cannot be mistaken for any other stone. Unlike emerald, which can range from bluish to forest green, peridot always leans toward yellow-green, the exact shade of fresh olives hanging from Mediterranean trees or pressed into shimmering olive oil. When cut and polished, peridot sparkles with a golden undertone, glowing as though lit from within. In cabochons, it resembles drops of olive oil crystallized into beads. In faceted gems, its brilliance is like sunlight filtered through green leaves. Archaeologists studying the earliest references to peridot note how ancient writers described its glow as never fading, even by lamplight, a quality that made it sacred to cultures living by the olive tree, whose fruit and oil sustained them. The connection to olives runs deeper than appearance. In the Mediterranean world, the olive was not only food but a symbol of peace, renewal, and divine blessing. To the Greeks, Athena's gift of the olive tree marked the foundation of civilization in Athens. To the Hebrews, a dove carrying an olive branch announced the end of the flood in the biblical narrative. In Rome, olive wreaths crowned victors and peacemakers alike. For these cultures, the olive was life itself. To find a gemstone that mirrored its fruit in color and luster was to hold a symbol of life made permanent. Egyptian sources confirm peridot's ancient reverence. On Zabargad Island, pharaohs sent expeditions to mine the gem under strict secrecy. Guards patrolled the island, and mining was permitted only at night when the stones glowed faintly in torchlight. Priests offered them to Ra, the sun god, as crystallized rays of light. Cleopatra herself was said to favor peridot, though legends sometimes confuse her collection with emeralds. To the Egyptians, the stone's olive-green glow was a symbol of fertility and renewal, as vital to survival as the orchards of olives that dotted the Mediterranean shore. The gem traveled along ancient trade routes, from the Red Sea into the courts of Greece and Rome. Roman writers called it topazos, describing it as a stone of incredible beauty and protective power. Soldiers carried peridot amulets into battle, linking its green light with vitality and resilience. To merchants, it was a pledge of prosperity, a crystalline counterpart to the olive harvest that sustained economies. To rulers, it was a token of peace, akin to the olive branch that sealed treaties. Archaeological finds support these traditions. Peridot beads have been discovered in Egyptian tombs, Roman jewelry, and medieval church treasures. In each case, the association is the same, a gemstone that glowed like olives, embodying nourishment, harmony, and divine favor. In the Christian Middle Ages, peridot was set in chalices and reliquaries, its green light a symbol of purity and eternal life, again echoing the olive's sacred role as oil for anointing. Today, peridot is mined not only in Zabargad but across the world, in the Mogok Valley of Myanmar, in the Kashmir Mountains of Pakistan, in the deserts of Arizona. Yet the image has never changed. To jewelers, it remains the olive stone, the gem that captures the taste of ancient orchards in color and light. Necklaces of peridot beads resemble strings of green olives, polished to eternal ripeness. Rings of faceted peridot shine like drops of oil under flame. Ranked second in our list, peridot olive stands not only as a gemstone, but as a cultural bridge. It ties geology to agriculture, stone to fruit, survival to beauty. It is the gemstone of ancient olives, bright, nourishing, and enduring. In its green glow, we see not only the Earth's mantle brought to the surface, but humanity's oldest harvest, crystallize forever in stone. Rank number 1, watermelon tourmaline, the gemstone that looks like a slice of watermelon. In the gem mines of Brazil's Minas Gerais, miners split open veins of tourmaline and reveal a sight that seems impossible. Crystals cut across their center, showing a pink heart wrapped in green rind, sometimes with a pale band in between. The effect is so natural, so familiar, that it looks not like stone at all, but like a slice of watermelon fresh from a summer table. This is watermelon tourmaline, the gemstone that looks like a slice of watermelon. Geologically, tourmaline is a complex silicate mineral capable of displaying almost every color in the spectrum. In rare cases, as the crystal grows, its chemistry changes. Manganese enriches the core to a vivid pink or red, while iron or chromium adds green to the outer layers. The result is concentric zoning, pink inside, green outside, and sometimes a faint white divider. When crystals are cut crosswise, the resemblance is unmistakable. A wedge of watermelon preserved in stone, complete with rind, flesh, and juice. No other gemstone captures fruit so perfectly. Hold a slice of polished watermelon tourmaline in your hand, and it feels like holding summer itself. The pink center glows with the translucence of ripe melon flesh. The green border frames it like rind, and the natural contrast between colors mimics the sweetness of fruit against the bite of skin. Even the uneven edges of the crystal suggest a freshly cut slice. Archaeologists studying its discovery noted that early collectors often compared it directly to food, calling it nature's candy, a harvest of gems instead of fruit. The origins of its mining lie in Brazil, where vast pegmatite veins produce the finest specimens. But deposits in Madagascar, Afghanistan, Nigeria, and the United States have also yielded crystals. In Maine, 19th century miners sent watermelon tourmaline to Tiffany and Company, where it stunned jewelers for its uncanny resemblance to melon slices. In California, entire crystal rods were cut into cabochons that resembled watermelon candy, delighting collectors and fueling a craze for this fruit-like stone. Culturally, tourmaline has long been a stone of protection and harmony. In China, it was carved into figurines. In Europe, it was believed to attract inspiration. The watermelon variety carries these traditions further. Its dual colors symbolize balance: green for growth, pink for love. Together, they suggest harmony of body and heart, of nourishment and joy. To many cultures, the stone became a token of abundance, echoing the fruit that has sustained communities for millennia. Archaeological imagination plays a role here. One can picture early peoples encountering such a crystal in the earth and marveling at how stone could mimic food so vividly. For societies where fruit harvest marks survival, a gemstone resembling watermelon must have carried deep symbolic weight. It was more than beauty, it was reassurance. Nature, it seemed, provided not only fruit above ground, but also echoes of that fruit below. Nourishment turned eternal, immune to rot. Today, watermelon tourmaline remains highly prized. Unlike uniform gems, each slice is unique, its colors varying in depth and proportion. Jewelers often leave them as polished cross-sections, highlighting their natural resemblance to fruit rather than disguising it with facets. Pendants of watermelon tourmaline hang like candy-colored charms, miniature melons glowing on the chest. In strands, they resemble plates of fruit laid out for eternal summer feasts. Collectors and metaphysical traditions alike attribute to the gem qualities of joy, creativity, and emotional balance. Just as watermelon cools and refreshes in the heat of summer, watermelon tourmaline is seen as a stone that soothes and revitalizes. Its imagery is inseparable from the season of plenty, of laughter, of community gathered around a shared harvest. Ranked first in our list, watermelon tourmaline is more than a gemstone. It is a wonder of nature's mimicry, a crystal that imitates the fruit of summer with uncanny precision. It bridges geology and orchard, permanence and perishability, mineral and memory. To look at it is to taste sweetness. To hold it is to have a slice of joy. In watermelon tourmaline, the earth does not merely echo life. It ripens it, sealing summer forever in stone. And that brings us to the end of today's journey through the world of fruit-like gemstones. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Your support is what keeps this channel alive and gives me the motivation to keep creating more amazing stories for you. But stay tuned, because in the next video, we're going even deeper. We'll uncover a gemstone so mysterious that some say it doesn't just look like fruit. It holds secrets powerful enough to change the course of history. You won't want to miss it. See you in the next adventure here on Gemstone Kingdom.